This video is an introduction to the Keren Engineering Excellent Formula Checker add-in. Microsoft's Excel is a great tool for engineering and scientific calculations, but is notoriously difficult to maintain the integrity of. For example, if I enter a mass of, say, 10 kilograms at B1, a distance of 20 meters, say, at B2, and a time of 5 seconds at B3, I can calculate a force from mass times acceleration. So the formula equals B1 times B2 divided by B3 to the power 2 gives me my force in newtons. I can enter another distance of 3 meters, say. My work done is then equal to force times distance equals B5 times B7. Another time quantity, 3 seconds, and my power is simply equal to work divided by time. I have my power in watts. If I'm interested in a motor calculation, I might run it at 240 volts. And then my current draw is simply equal to power divided by the voltage. And I know my current in amps. So far, so good. Except that this whole calculation chain is physical nonsense, because at my first formula at B5, I made a small typographical error and raised it to the power of 3 instead of time to the power of 2. This means that the quantity that I calculated is not a force. In fact, it is not a meaningful physical quantity at all. But Microsoft and Excel neither know nor care about this. The formula is a valid mathematical expression with valid inputs, so Excel calculates a number but gives no indication of our error. The error then flows through the whole worksheet to every formula dependent on the result of B5. The Keren Engineering Excellent Formula Checker add-in provides a means of eliminating errors such as this when using Excel for scientific and engineering calculations. It adds a level of quality control not previously available. Once installed, the add-in can be loaded from the COM add-in button under the Developer tab. The add-in announces itself with some information about build time, and then it adds a new button to the Developer tab. The add-in allows us to specify the SI unit of each quantity with simple keyboard shortcuts. The shortcut acts on the value that has just been entered. So when entering a value in Excel, most of us type the required value and hit enter, which enters the value and moves the selection down from B1 to B2. But if the number is typed followed by control enter, the value is entered but the selection remains at B1. With B1 value entered and still selected, the process of entering a unit can commence. Keystrokes Control-Alt-Enter or Control-Alt-G for group will bring up a drop-down list of engineering and scientific disciplines. Typing the first letter of a desired discipline immediately brings up a list of physical quantities relevant to that discipline. Typing a single letter M selects the first quantity in the list that begins with that letter. In this instance, we are presented with the option of kilograms or tons. Typing K selects the kilogram, enter, and the SI unit of kilograms is written to cell C3. We can repeat that process at B2. 20 control enter puts in the value, leaves the selection the same. Now, because we have a mechanical group selected, we can go straight to entry of a unit with keystrokes Control-Alt-U for unit, we're presented with the same list of quantities. Typing L for length, enter, and we have the unit of meters written to cell C2. Time, Control Alt U, T selects temperature, T again moves us to time, repeated T's simply scroll through those quantities beginning with T. Enter, and seconds are written to C3. Now at B5, if I enter my formula equals B1 times B2 divided by B3 to the power of 2, the add-in, rather slowly on the first load, tells me that the quantity at B5 is a force in newtons. If I had made the same typographical error and raised to the power of 3 instead of 2, the add-in gives me a message box, no meaningful unit found for the calculation at B5. Please check your formula. Accepting that, and the error message is written permanently to the worksheet. If I fix the error, go back and change the 3 back to 2, the error message is cleared and the quantity is written as newtons. I can enter another distance, 12 meters, Control Enter, followed by Control Alt U, L for length, and meters is written immediately. My work done is then equal to B5 times B7, and the add-in tells me I've calculated a quantity in joules. Time quantity entered with Control Enter, Control Alt U, T, enter, value of seconds. My power is now equal to work divided by time, and the add-in tells me I've calculated a quantity in watts. Enter voltage, Control Enter, Control Alt U. My mechanical list doesn't contain voltage, so if I exit from that and return to my earlier keystrokes, Control Alt G, then I'm presented with the list of disciplines. E gives me electrical list, V for voltage, and the unit is written to C15. Now current is simply equal to power divided by voltage, current in amps. The calculation chain is valid throughout this. If I, for any reason, I had to go back to my force formula and I repeated the error, then the error message is written specifically at C5, but is shown throughout the calculation chain. Returning to B5 and correcting the error, force unit is written to newtons and the other ones are corrected.